Hi, I'm Tiffany Oshinsky, and this is Serving Pancakes with League One Volleyball. The inaugural Love season is just around the corner, so we're talking with some of the amazing people in the league to introduce you to the players on the court and coaches and others involved off the court. Today's episode features Love Austin opposite hitter Khat Bell. Growing up in Mesquite, Texas, Khat stayed in the Lone Star State for college and took her talents to the University of Texas, where she played an integral role in leading the Longhorns to an NCAA title in 2012, plus 2 other NCAA semifinal appearances. She's played in 6 countries during her 9-year professional career, including Puerto Rico, South Korea, Turkey, China, the Philippines, and the U.S. In South Korea, she was named V-League MVP and Best Blocker, while in the Philippines, she was the Superliga Best Outside Spiker and twice won the Superliga Championship. And now she's heading back to her college home in Austin to play for League One. Khat, welcome to Serving Pancakes.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So excited to have you here. Welcome back to Austin. What's it like being back?
I mean, it's honestly a dream come true. It's like a full circle moment right now for me. Like just being back here in Austin, I just can't believe I'm back in the city, but being able to play the sport I'm still like adoring right now and being back here it's amazing. I'm enjoying being back.
And now, before we actually started recording this interview, you were telling me about your apartment that you are creating. I mean, if you're listening to this on the on Apple Podcasts or iHeartRadio app, then you don't see it. But if you're on YouTube, you can see this gorgeous apartment. So tell me about this place real quick. I want to know.
So it's my first time coming back home and like being able to just be here and enjoy my space. So normally abroad, you know, you're in an Airbnb in our apartment that's already furnished. Not kind of quite my taste, but like it's what you kind of have to go through. So coming back, I was like, you know what, I really want to plant some roots and just start from the top and being something that's mine. You know, some girls were renting out apartments like Airbnbs and stuff, but that's still somebody else's space. So I wanted to create my own space, my own kind of vibe, and it's giving like cute, classy, like modern, very, very low key. So my lighting in the apartment is awesome as well. I have a lot of big open windows, and I'm just enjoying like building on the furniture and just figuring out like my own kind of vibe. So yeah.
I love it. That's such a fun side project to be working on while you're back home.
It's honestly, I didn't know that it was such just a stress reliever almost. Like I just enjoy coming home and just turning my music on, kind of setting a candle on and just building my little blocks. Almost feels like the girls are calling me Bob the Builder. So it's great, but it's still coming together right now. So
I love it. Has this been your favorite part about being back?
Probably. I really enjoy being home. Honestly, like I just. You know, I think the biggest part about was coming back and just the social part of it. It's a lot. You know, normally you're by yourself abroad and like, you know, you don't know the language. So you don't have to worry about, you know, just building that kind of like bond with certain girls. You're just there to do a job. But here, you know, having that connection is important. So I have to go to practice and socialize and get to know people and stuff. So being able to come back home and be in my own space just to kind of like, you know, unwind and relax is probably my best part, the favorite part for sure.
You talked about the social aspect of playing overseas, but when it comes to the actual game, what's the difference between playing overseas and playing here now with League One?
I think overseas, you're there to do a job and, you know, you're going to do it the best possible way you can, but you know, every night you're going to be on that floor. I think come back to League One, we have some great athletes in the gym, and like I feel like I have to kind of practice every day and compete every day. You know, before it's like I can go to practice and kind of get my reps in. I don't have to go so hard, but you know, going into the season, you know, it's a challenge because you want to see the court and you want to play, and it's a competitive gym right now too. So going in and competing every day is honestly the hardest part, but I'm enjoying it. It's kind of a new tick I haven't had to do in a while, so it's fun. I enjoy it a lot.
And your team, Love Austin, has a bunch of Texas alum on that roster. Did you know? I mean, I know that you didn't play with a lot of them. There's a lot of younger women on the team, but did you know them before? Is there sort of like, since you are all like Texas alums, is there some sort of love language between you guys that you know?
100%. And we try not to be like, we try to be discreet about it, honestly, just because like, you know, it's a Texas girl thing. You know, Julianne, I was fortunate enough to meet her and watch her as I was coming into UT, and she's amazing. And then obviously I got to play 2 years with Chiaka, and she's really one of my close friends. Molly as well. I've been playing with Molly now a full year, you know, playing with PVF and then the AU, and now we're together. So that's been great. And then being able to, you know, watch Asia develop her game and Logan as well as I was, you know, traveling and still keeping up with Texas volleyball. And now all of us being together is crazy. And of course, Zoe. Zoe's amazing. I love Zoe. She's amazing. So yeah, really, it's fun. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
Now, have you been watching the NCAA tournament at all?
Not so much until not the season at all, honestly, but until the tournament started, I was watching, and then like I was heavily watching. Obviously, this past weekend when Texas lost, and it sucked. It was hard. It's hard. It's hard as an alumni to watch, especially too, because like you've been in that position so many times, and you always like I wish I could just like get back in my jersey and get out there and like help them figure out and that kind of thing. So, but it's been great to see them see what Jared's been doing with his program the past 10 years or wherever he's been doing for however long he's been doing it for, and seeing the game develop through Texas volleyball. It's been great.
Yeah, I mean, three-peats are hard to do, so
Yeah.
it's. I mean, going back-to-back is pretty impressive. It would have been awesome if they got the three, but it happens. It happens.
Yeah, I feel like Penn State was just a reign of its own. They did like back to back to back, a few championships back to back, and I think there should be a documentary on that. To be honest, like just to see like the grit in that gym and have some players come back and talk about how how hard it was to get there and that through that program. So.
No, I know there's a few international players on the Love Austin team. U.S. college ball is very different than the type of ball that they play in Europe, and you don't really know it. Did you ladies kind of introduce them to this wild, wild west of college sports?
I think especially, I think Anna was watching us, or Ale was watching us the other day when Texas was playing, and just to see us like all kind of heaped in front of the TV, she's kind of like, what is going on, So I think her coming in, she's kind of, it's around, it's kind of in our face a little bit. And of course, we're kind of telling her about certain teams, that kind of stuff too. But I think they love it. They think it's just a huge thing. Also just her adjusting the American type of style, playing volleyball here, in Italy, I'm sure like they have a certain like kind of routine that, foreigners just kind of fall into, like just days that like you'll listen to, like, for example, if I was in Korea, listening to Korean music like every single day, because it's like, is there one time we can play like one English song that I can like, and then now her coming here, it's like all English rap music every single day. And I'm sure she's like, can we change it? We're like, no, you have to endure what we're enduring. You have to go through it. So you have to watch this college volleyball. It's amazing. So yeah, I think they're all used to it by now.
Well, with Texas out, who are you rooting for?
My really good friend Aaron Ferris is a Cardinal, so I guess I'm kind of supporting him. But I'm really impressed by Pittsburgh. I'm really impressed by them. So I think I'm going to go with that. They're the number one ranked team. I'm going to stick with the winners. I'm going to go with Pitt for sure.
All right. I've got Pitt and Penn State in the finals, the PA finals, but I have Pitt edging out Penn State.
Yeah, I think Pitt's going to go all the way through for sure.
All right, well, let's talk about you and your volleyball career because you have quite the resume. So let's go back to the beginning. When did you first fall in love with the sport?
I think I was in 7th grade. I actually didn't even know what volleyball was. I was a big basketball player. I've been playing basketball since I was in the 4th grade, and I was doing dancing. And so I was going to my 7th grade year, and one of my friends was like, hey, like, do you want to try out for the volleyball team? And I was like, what the heck is volleyball? And she was like, oh, well, it's the white ball that you go like this over the net. And I was like, oh, when's the tryout? She goes, after school. And I was like, I don't have any clothes. She goes, it's okay. Our other friend who was in 8th grade had tried out that morning. And she was like, we can just wear Big Erica's clothes. And I was like, oh, okay, but not thinking about it. So my friend is wearing the sweaty shorts. I'm wearing the sweaty t-shirt, and you had to have some type of gear, and we only had one pair of knee pads. So I was wearing my school pants, one knee pad, and the sweaty shirt going to volleyball tryouts, and I made the C team, which was okay, but but that's how I started.
That's amazing. When did you know that you were actually good at it?
When I made the A team, 2 weeks later.
2 weeks later?
2 weeks later, yeah. I mean, I just kind of I obsessed about it. I love skating a lot. That's one of the biggest things I like to do over the weekend was to go skating with my friends. And once I found like this new kind of like hobby, like I was obsessed with it. Like that's all I wanted to do. Like I would take like newspaper and I would wad it up with tape and make it like kind of a ball. And I would just kind of practice it on my platform against the wall when I was at home. And like I just became obsessed. And like my friends I was on the boys team, the C team, and all my really good friends were on the A team. And I was like, shoot, like I really want to like get up there with them. So I would stay after practice and like get extra reps because all it is really in 7th grade is like serving and like trying to keep the ball off the ground. So that was my main thing, was just like serving the ball, trying to get the ball over the net. Cause I was a string bang at the time. Not now, but I was a string bang. But just trying to get the ball over the net. And then when I made the A team, they ended up moving my best friend actually down to the B team. So I took her spot. So that was a whole thing. But her mom even told me, she was like, well, why don't you play a little bit worse so you and Candace can be together on the B team? And I was like, hell no. Like, I want to play with the girls that are good. Like, no. So I made the A team in 7th grade. And from there, I was just obsessed. I was obsessed.
That's amazing. When you became obsessed with the sport, did you start also watching older girls play like in college and stuff?
No. So my first experience watching someone play volleyball at a high level, and that's when I knew, like, I think I wanted to go to college. I wanted to be as good as she was Courtney Manning. She was a middle blocker at SMU. She played at Mesquite High School. And Courtney, if you're watching this, major shout out. She was just someone obviously that looked like me and was just kind of taking the sport by the storm. She was 6'2", 3", and just had an arm of a cannon. Like, I'm talking about this girl. We were in middle school to go watch the high school games. She would hit a ball and it would bounce on the ground and like go up like 18 feet in the air. Like, it was insane. I was like, I want to be like her. So like in middle school, I was watching her games, and then once I got to high school, I made the JV team. I was on JV my first. I feel so bad. I was on JV like the first like 2 weeks, and then we moved to varsity. But again, I was just like, working a lot. I was always just like doing something in the sand, like just watching her. And then like from there, I had an opportunity. There was a girl named Callie. I don't know her last name was, but she's from California. She's a big Samoan girl, and volleyball in Cali is just a big thing. So she just came to our school for that semester, and like, she was just as big and just as amazing as Courtney was, but she was in my gym every day too. So like, she definitely helped me develop my game throughout high school. And like being on varsity, I knew there was an opportunity to say like, I wouldn't probably see the floor, but I knew that like playing with them, I was going to get better at it. And then things happened. A girl got hurt. I had to do the starting middle blocker and play. And like Callie would work so many days with me after practice, and I was also scared of the ball for some reason. I don't know why. So she would like put me on the ground, and I'd have my hands above in my face, and she would just hit balls into my hands above my face and like tell me like not to move my hand because I was scared of it. So it was just, I had so many amazing people in my life as a teenager. And even though I wasn't watching on TV, they were like literally in the gym with me every day. So it was amazing. It helped me a lot, actually.
Well, so Mesquite is not that far from the University of Texas in Austin. So was that kind of the impetus for why you wanted to commit there, or were there other plans before? Oh, okay.
No, I did not. So I had friends that were big OU fans. And so like I was like, okay, if I'm going to go to college, I want to go to OU, And at that time, I wasn't really playing volleyball. I just knew I wanted to go to school there, if I had an opportunity to go to college. And then as I got better in the sport, I was like, oh, like, wait a minute, like, I'm really good at this. And like, I got to see like the perks of being really good at the sport, and how like, I'll never forget, I got my first letter from, it was from I think Wichita something state or something like that. And I was like, I'm going, like, I'm the first college graduate in my family. So I was like, it was a big deal for me to go to school. So I was like, I'm going. Like, my coach was like, hang on. Like, I was like, I think I was a sophomore. And she's like, this is going to start happening. The better you get, the more college offers you'll get. Like, just wait. And I'm like, but this is one right. Like, they have a scholarship for me. Like, this is free school right here. Like, I need to get there. She's like, just wait. And so as I got better, also comes the ego as well, too. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I went to an OU visit. I knew I didn't want to go to school in Texas. Like, but I was really riding this OU train. And when you go on your visits and stuff, you're treated like royalty, I went to my OU visit, and there was like 12 girls on the visit. Like, it was maybe not 12, but it was like more than 5 on the same visit as me. And I'm like, I wanted to feel, kind of special and stuff. I don't feel like that, whether it was a budget or what. I don't know what it was. And I was like, I'm going to go to Florida. I want to go to Florida. Like, the colors are great. Like, it's Florida. Like, why not go to Florida? And I went to a Florida camp. I did a little visit when I was there, and I loved Florida. It was great. And I think my mind was pretty set on Florida. And then I hadn't gone to Texas. Jared came to all my games. And my high school's small, like, Mesquite is a very small city outside of Dallas. Like, and Jared came to all my tournaments. He came to watch me play in Mesquite. He would sit in the stands. Like, he would be him on one side, like the UCLA coach on the other side. I wouldn't give him the time or day. Like, I would not even speak to him. And so he was really adamant about, like, just trying to just get me down for a visit. And he told my high school coach, he was like, just get her down here. Like, if you guys can just get her down here. So my high school coach told my mom, was like, I really think Kat should go down to Austin just to see. So we get to campus, and I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I guess I had never been to Austin before. So I was like, oh, this is like, and it's like the fall, so the weather's nice. And like, it's the capital. So I was like, oh, like, this is cool. Like, this is cool, I guess, whatever. And so, again, I've seen Jared from afar, but never like face to face. And so I go into the facility where they do film at in Gregory. And there's like, this is when I find out who Destiny Hooker is and Julianne Fawcett. And like, I've never seen so many black women on a roster. That was my first thing, because I was always the only black female playing in my sport when I was growing up. So like, I walk into this film room, you see all of their like pictures on the wall, and I was just so taken by it. And I was like, whoa. And then like Jared walks in, he has these big blue eyes, and he's just such a, like an amazing father figure. You know, I right away got that feeling from him. He walks in, I was kind of like, you know, he's very nice. And Sleemer Walkwell was assistant around that time, and Brian was still there, but Eric hadn't came in yet. But they were, you know, meeting the staff for the first time was all nice, and then the girls come in, and I'll never forget the feeling that I had just seeing. I could always tear up. Just seeing such like a panel of girls who were tall and like, you know, not ashamed of their height and their complexion, and like just so many different, just so much diversity. Jared, his roster was painted amazing, and he had so much diversity on his team. You know, he had Sarah Palmer, who was Hawaiian. He had so many, you know, black women on his team, and I was like, dang, like, wow, like this is like, I want to be a part of this, you know. And they're all just amazing people, and like I got to meet them and, you know, watch them practice, and like they're just, I mean, these girls are good. Like I watched them practice and like just seeing them go as hard as they were going, and I think it could be intimidating for some girls, you know, like to go into that gym and be like, okay, well, if I come on this team, you know, it kind of comes down to where do I want to go? Do I want to go somewhere I know I'm going to play, or do I want to go somewhere where like there's a chance I'm going to sit the bench, but I'm going to develop, you know? And my mindset, how I was like, there's no freaking way that like if I come here, I'm sitting the bench. And like the competition, I was playing it outside at the time, and like Destiny and Julian were graduating, but he still had like 2 or 3 seniors coming in, sophomores coming in. Haley Ackerman was also coming in, and I was like, I don't know, I don't care what I gotta do, but I'm about to come in here and I'm gonna just go crazy. And so I just immediately just being in that atmosphere, in that environment. Again, I was on a visit by myself. I personally got to know the girls from personal. Like, they were arguing at the table at lunch in front of me, you know? So I was like, oh, like, this is tea. Like, y'all real. Okay, y'all ain't, they're not fronting and faking. It's not a show. You know, it was real. And that's what stood out to me the most. And so after leaving the visit, I found out, you know, I didn't want to leave. I was under so much stress because, like, I was the number 2 recruit in the country, and I had so many, like, college coaches and emails, and, like, so many, like, I had this huge binder, and, like, I would cry some nights because when you talk to players and you're asking them, you know, what are you looking for? What's the feeling? They're like, you just get a feeling. And I'm like, I'm not getting this feeling. And, like, this is a very important choice, you know, for myself. And the choice is only mine, you know, and the feeling for me was I felt away from home, but close enough. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know that Austin would give me that much of space between Dallas. And just like, it was a place I felt like I belonged. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to be somewhere where the gym was amazingly high talented, being around girls who were more developed than I was to learn the game. And the faster I was able to do that, or play with the girls at a higher level, I was able to develop faster. So I went home and I was like, that was it. That was it. I think I went back for another visit. And I didn't know how to commit. I'm like, what do you do? Like, do you just like call them on the phone, or do you tell them? Like, what's the process, you know? So they invited me down again. I was sitting on the bench, and I'll never forget it. They were playing Kansas State, and I'm like, I gotta tell them. And I don't know why I decided to tell them right then and there, but like, I'm like, I have tears in my eyes. I'm like, I gotta tell them. And so Jared's kind of like pacing back and forth what he does, and I'm sitting there. I'm just like, I was like, Coach Elliott? And he was like, yeah. I said, I want to come here. He was like, what? I was like, I'm doing this the wrong way. Like, I was like, I want to go to school here. He's like, do you want to play for me? I was like, yeah. I was like, I want to play for you. I want to go to school here. He was like, that's great news. So he's like, okay, he's like, okay. He ended up going to Salima, and he goes, hey, Salima, like, I got something to tell you. He goes, man, Kat, he played a joke on Salima. He's like, man, Kat just told me she wants to go to Florida. And I remember, I'll never forget, Salima looked down at me down the bench, and I can see her. She's like, get her off the bench. She's like, get her off. I'm like, why is she sitting there? And he's like, no, I'm just kidding. And the girls, he announced the girls for the game, and like they came over to me, and everyone hugged me, congratulating me. I got to watch them win, and like when I said I wanted, it was the best decision of my entire life. Like, I know Texas was the one place that I needed to be, and I know that like me going there has just developed me so much to becoming the woman that I am today. So it was definitely the right decision. So yeah.
I mean, the whole story was like a path of maturity and like growing up and learning who you are as a person.
It wasn't easy.
Oh, well, it never is, right?
Yeah.
I feel like it's not easy to grow up and learn all that kind of stuff. But as like a 17, 18-year-old, or were you 16? Were you sophomore?
No, I was 17. I was
17. Yeah. I feel like, you're still learning so much about yourself. So to be able to like put all of that emotion and like understanding into that visit and like realize that this is what I want and what I need, and these are the people I want to be around. I feel like that's so mature of you. And like, obviously it worked out. I mean, you ended up winning a title in 2012 as a sophomore. What was that like?
So my freshman year, I tore my ACL, MCL, meniscus. So I damn near completely blew my knee out. And my biggest thing was like, I'd worked so hard and I was like, I want to see those shiny blue courts. Once I came to Texas, I started watching more and I was like, I have to get to those blue courts. Going into my freshman year, like, I think I was picked most likely. I was competing for freshman of the year, and like went from the outside, and we had a tough conversation with you. It wasn't tough, but like I'm a team player. Like whatever you need me to do, I'm gonna do it. Whatever you need. And we had a lot of blocking issues in the middle for the M2. So Jared was like, "Hey, like I gotta ask you to do something." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "I need you to play middle for me." And I'm like, "Freak! Like dang! Like I'm just not getting my rhythm. Like I'm going crazy out here." But I'm like, "Cool. Like whatever it's gonna take for us to get to where we need to be." And I'm hitting two balls in the middle, like flying high, hitting two balls from Hannah Allison, like racking up kill points, not doing a lot. But I also would say like I'm mature enough now, woman enough now to know that like what I was doing on the court was not really a reflection of the person I was off the court, you know. And I think God has a really has an amazing way of showing you that like just as easy as I can give it to you is the easiest way I can take it from you. And November or towards the end of October, I think we're playing at Kansas. I'm doing what I normally do. You know, I'm hitting those two balls. I'm going crazy, going crazy. I'll never forget the ball was set to me, and it was set more to my left. So I jumped in the air, flew in the air, hit the two ball, got the point, came down, done. And I immediately grabbed my leg. And as soon as it happened, I knew what had happened. I already knew. And I'm like, Deanne comes over, and she's like just telling me to calm down. I ended up carrying out the court, and I already knew what I had done, you know, and Deanne looked at me and she was like, well, you get a choice. Like right then and there, Deanne's like, you have a choice. She's like, either you're going to come back and be stronger or you're going to let this thing defeat you. It's up to you. The only thing I can do is bring you to the well. I can't make you drink. So I was like, no, like I'm going to come back. And it ended up being like, I think one of the fastest recovery that Texas ever had. This is like November. I was running by March and cutting. I was back playing by April, May, and I was full blown ready to go before the season even went on. So like and I also pushed it. I mean, my training it was intense. Like I pushed myself a lot. Even when I was at the training facility with Deanne, I was doing my own stuff. There was days that she had to call me and be like, Kat, like you can't be on the football field flipping tires. Like that's not going to help your recovery. But I'm like, I need to get back, you know? So that motivation definitely pushed me to be whatever my team needed me to be going to 2012, which was the starting middle blocker. And going through that trial and then coming back from that and then playing and having an amazing season in 2012. And then like, I'll never forget this. We're playing Michigan. It's a practice before national championship. That's what it was. And I go up just to do like a blocking move, come down, and I feel like my whole back collapsed on me. I don't know if people know this or not, but the day before the national championship game, I had a bulging disc. My whole back collapsed on me. Like it was out. It was on a nerve. I had a shooting pain. Like I probably shouldn't have played. But obviously like, it's like, ain't no way I've come all this way and I'm not gonna get this money. Like I'm not about to get this ring. I'm not gonna do it. So their doctor came in. They're like, okay, we can give you like a pain relief shot, but it won't last as long, but it can kind of help you through things. So I was like, so we were kind of trying to time it where I could be on the floor. I got a shot right before going onto the court and I played well. By the time we went 3-0 that game, thank God. But by the time the halftime mark came in, the medicine was wearing off. And so I'm back like cradling down again. Like I could barely walk. And I'm like, what are we going to do? And I'm like, can I have another shot? And they were like, you sure? I'm like, give me one more. Just give me another shot. So I had another shot in my back. We won. Everyone goes out that night to celebrate. I'm like in the hotel bed, ridden, like flying back was the craziest pain I've ever been in. I had to get an epidural on my back. Like I was out for about a month. Again, trainers at Texas are amazing. Donnie Mae, he's amazing. They got me back going and come back from an injury and then winning that championship was the best thing ever.
Despite the disc.
Yeah, despite the disc, yeah.
Your whole journey so far, from what you've told me, you've had all of this insane, like, determination. Where does the determination come from?
I think Regina, my mom is such a boss. Like, so I was raised in a single parent home. I still have a really good relationship with my dad. But my mom has just raised me to be who I am. You know, she worked, 2 jobs sometimes to take care of all of us. And like, she really just did what she had to do to make sure that we had what we needed, and I've always wanted to take care of her. And like, I'm proud to say that, like, when I went pro, I was like, quit your job. Like, you're done. Like, I can do it. So I've been taking care of my mom now since I've gone pro. And I can't imagine how she even did it. I don't know how she did it, and to see her work the long hours she working and still be a mom, be a parent, provide for us. And like, so she always preached just about staying prayed up and taking care of yourself and, don't let, circumstances put you down, like just prevail through. So it's definitely stems from her for sure.
Super mom right there for
That's
sure.
my girl. That's my dog.
So when it came to playing professionally, did you know about professional volleyball when you were in college, or how did that come about where you decided that you were eventually going to go play abroad?
Kind of, sort of. But I wasn't really sure about my opportunities because I had been at Texas for 4 years. I played outside my freshman year, but then moved to the middle. Then played middle blocker my sophomore and junior year. And then my senior year, Jared moved me to the opposite side. So I kind of bounced around a little bit. So I wasn't sure, about film, how that would look or what the process even was. And at the time, Jared's close friend is Tim Kelly, who was running an agency at the time. And majority of the girls that came through Texas always went through him to go play pro. And I didn't really think about it, honestly. I didn't really think about going pro until, Haley left and she went to Korea. And I heard about her experience, and it wasn't the best experience. But again, what they giving you? You making what? I'm about to go get that money. I can be in an igloo. Don't worry about it. I can go get that money. So, and that's what I tell some girls too. It depends on how you want to kind of stem your career. It's do you want to go make money, or do you want to go travel, or you want to go play in Seth Cup? I've always seen my career around making money because I'm a provider for my family. I take care of my family, so that was the main thing. It's okay, I have to make money. I have to take care of myself and take care of my body and make better choices, whether it's working out or eating, because I have to make money. When Haley went pro in Korea and she told me her experience and how hard it was, but what she was making, I was well, I love volleyball, but if this can make me some money, let's keep doing it, So I got a wind of the Korean tryout, and they had the Korean tryout in Anaheim, and that's when Emily Hartong was also on the team that year, Leslie Secra. There was a few girls I met that were playing, and we were on the same tryout, and I had played all these positions. I can set, I can pass, I can play defense, I can play middle. And also, I made other girls look good. And that's been, and so with the draft was just playing volleyball with my friends, and I knew what team I was going to be on before the draft even happened. And that's a draft. You can't tell through the balls you're being picked. I just knew the team I was going to be on. It just happened to be Haley's team. And because she told me, she's well, how do you know you're going to be that team? They can be picked the draft pickers for the fourth time, and you not get picked by them. I'm the draft is a draft. I just knew. I don't know how I knew. I just knew that I was going to be on that team, and I was. So when that opportunity came to me about playing in Korea and going pro, I talked to Jared. I was hey, I need some film for this tryout. And Eric was okay, they helped me get some film. And it was all over the place, but I sent in. And the best thing was if I can get to a tryout, I don't need film, So going into the Korean draft, went to the tryout, and from there, the rest was history. So
that's awesome. Now, out of all the countries that you've played in, what's kind of been your favorite, both to play and just to be in?
Korea is my favorite, and Turkey. I really enjoyed Turkey a lot. I pick up the language pretty easily as well, too. I think any girls that play there, it's just you develop the language very quickly. The food is amazing, but I also love Korean food. But I just love Korea. And also just it's just the athlete that I am. Korea is hard. It is tough, and it is a grind. And anyone that's played there multiple years can tell you that my body's not the same from playing there. It's done some damage, wow. But it's, you come out like a phoenix. You know what I'm saying? No, I was chasing this. I don't know what I feel I was just chasing this dream. With Korea. My first year at Korea, it was going to something like that. And being 21, never been really abroad like that before. And my mom went with me because that was amazing for her to come with me. But it's a hard job. I mean, I'm talking about, I would go to practice between 9 a.m. I wouldn't be done until 9 o'clock at night. It was a 12-hour thing. My mom had to force me to eat. That's how tired I was. I think I was right now I'm about 185, 87 pounds. Probably we'll say 19%, 18% body fat, something around there. In Korea, I was 175 and I was 9% body fat. It was giving starvation. It was bad. Yeah. But it's because my body was burning so much and I was trying to consume. But again, the food there is already naturally healthy as well. So it was a lot. But when I won the Korean Cup 2 years ago, the team was in the fourth. When I got there, I left Turkey and the team was in fifth place. And so I was there was one girl who was on the national team who wasn't in the gym anymore. She kind of completely just given up on the team. And I got a chance to talk to her. She came back to practice and I was if you can trust me, we can get out of this hole. And we did. And it took everything. We were down. Kim Young is one of the best outsides in the world. She's Korean, and it was her first season playing back in Korea, and so like everybody was just like crazy about her. On top of she's on the team that I was on the year before, and so it was this whole kind of like storyline that they're kind of building up. And Pink Spiders, they had beat us every time we played them. Once I got there, they beat us every match. I was getting blocked left and right, like. And my coach was like, when you play against Pink Spiders, you don't play that well. I was like, I don't know. It's just God telling me not to play good. I said, but when it counts, it's gonna turn on. He was just like, Kat, thinking I'm crazy. I'm like, no, like I manifest I believe it, So we get to the finals and we're playing Pink Spiders again. They have wiped us off across the floor every time they played us, and it's 5-game series. So you're playing 5 matches in 5 sets every other day. So we're down 2-0 in the set in the series. So they just need one more game and that's it. We win the third match. And I'm crying. So now I'm like, ain't no way I came all this way. There's no way I came all this way. We won the 4th game. So now we're going to the 5th series. It's day 5 of playing. We go up 2 sets. They win the 3rd set. They win the 4th set. And we go into the 5th set. And I'm like, I haven't cracked a smile. No, every ball that hits my hand, leaves my hand is a point. Like, I'm not cheering. I'm not even looking at the scoreboard at this point. And next thing you know, we won the 5th set, literally 15-13. Like, it was, I wanted it so bad. And I knew in my mind, I was like, if I want this, I'm going to have to give everything that I have. And I gave everything. And I ended up it was like the first time they ever had a foreign MVP before. Normally the Korean girls get it. So I was the first foreign MVP. And it was a whole thing. I ended Korea amazingly. And everyone's like, will you come back? I'm like, probably not. Probably not.
That's like a mic drop right there by you.
Like, you can't do it better than that, So
what made you ultimately decide to come to the U.S. and then now play for League One?
Just being back at home, honestly, like coming back to Austin is a full circle moment. I've been thinking retirement already as it is, and to be able to retire back in the States would be amazing. I've had so much love overseas, but like being away for 9 months at a time, it just became it's a grind and something I just don't want to do anymore. And like, fortunately, I have the opportunity to play like in short seasons. Like I was in the Philippines this summer, and that was amazing. I spent my whole summer playing volleyball and making money and like traveling and being in a warm climate, which was great. But just doing that long-term 8-month season abroad is something I just didn't want to do anymore. And again, going back to always wanting to be around and compete with the best. So that definitely was something that made me want to come back. And then once I found out Austin have a team, I was like, oh, for sure. Like, I want to be a part of that too. So now, like, I have nieces and nephews that are older now and that can watch me on TV and watch me play and come to the games and watch me play. So that's really important to me. So, yeah.
Who were some of the players that you were excited to both play with and play against?
I would say Haley Washington. She is amazing. Like, I've watched her since she was also in college as well. I love her attitude. I love how she's like just this amazing beast on the court, and she's very entertaining, and so am I too. So we even talked a little bit on Instagram that like maybe there's one game we can kind of chirp a little bit. Don't do too much. Don't do too much. Pretend and for fake can go away real quick. So, but no, I love her energy on the court. As well as Kelsey Robinson, I was able to watch her at Tennessee, and then when she went to Nebraska and what she did there for that program, and obviously watch her game to the national team as well. So when I saw those names kind of come in, it was amazing. And then I think Maddie came in towards the end, which I was already signed, but then Maddie came in as like one of my best friends. So Maddie being in Houston was like even amazing. So I was able to like literally talk to Chiaka about coming. So I talked her into coming. So once she was coming, I was like, yeah, this is going to be an amazing experience. So I think the people for sure. The people definitely made it the experience for me, or making it the experience for me.
All right, well, let's talk about you as a person, because you are so fun and fascinating, and your personality is great. So let's talk just hobbies, passions. What do you like to do for fun?
I really just like growth is a big thing for me. I think I love anything that can make me develop I have a vision of myself as this woman, and anything I can do to get me there, that's my biggest thing is like, okay, what can I do to get to her faster, I like to cook. I really do enjoy cooking. It's one of my favorite things to do. Yeah, and my new thing right now is building things. So going to like Home Goods and finding different like things to put into my apartment and different canvases and that kind of stuff too. So yeah, just chilling, developing. I like to go to church, those kind of things. So, yeah.
For the last question, I just want to, bring it back to love, end it on a love note. What are you hoping to showcase in this inaugural season for Love, both as a player yourself, but also like when it comes to women's volleyball in general?
Yeah. The sport is growing, and, I just want to showcase attraction for the sport. Hopefully we can get enough people to really believe in us and watch us and, show that, volleyball is an amazing, fun game just like everywhere else, and I really hope that the girls really dive into that aspect of it. Like, it's entertainment. People want to come and be entertained. And volleyball is already an entertaining sport, but like, you know, having amazing cheers on the sideline or cheers on the court and like, you know, little smack talking between the net a little bit can like also drive it up. I think that's one thing that did really well for women's basketball. So, just to showcase like the sport is fun and it's growing, developing, and like to show that, you know, young girls that do look like me, that you guys have an option to play after college, and this is something you can do professionally at home. So it's, you know, I just wanted to keep going and just to showcase the sport, and just that it's an amazing thing for us to have here in the States. So yeah.
I love it. Well, thank you so much, Khat, for coming on Serving Pancakes. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for watching Serving Pancakes. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. You can also listen to the podcast version on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.